The People's Republic of China, November 1991, and women's football finally stepped out of the shadows. After years of waiting, the FIFA Women's World Cup was staged for the very first time. "26 matches, all of them 80 minutes in duration, held in 5 cities across Guangdong province in southern China. Runners-up at the European Championships just 4 months previously, Norway were one of the favourites, and they also had the honour of playing in the first World Cup game.
I remember it was a very special occasion. It was a major championship in China, a country we'd never been to before. The atmosphere and the enthusiasm of the people towards us was just fantastic.
But in front of 65,000 people at the Tianhe Stadium, Norway were given a rude awakening.
Oh, it's tough for Norway here, and it's China through again, through Liu Eiling, and it's so easy!
A 4-0 win quickly established China as a force to be reckoned with, while Norway had a lot to do to fulfil their pre-tournament promise. Since their formation just 6 years previously, US women's soccer had taken huge strides. They had qualified for China with ease and were many people's tip for the tournament. They won all 3 of their Group B matches, and in the quarter-final, striker Michelle Akers scored a remarkable 5 goals in a 7-0 thrashing of Chinese Taipei.
Well, that's a tricky one to... Oh, Akers!
A Women's World Cup record, it still stands today.
You know, 5 goals in 1 game, what soccer player expects that? I thought I'm going to take every chance I have and score every goal I can and do whatever I have to help our team be the best in the world.
Just 4 months before arriving in China, West Germany had won the European Women's Championship for the 2nd time. Now they were looking to add a world title to their list of honours. They swept through Group C, beating Nigeria, Chinese Taipei and Italy, all without conceding a goal. In the quarter-final, they saw off Denmark in extra time, Heidi Moore scoring her 6th goal of the tournament. 12 teams, all of them qualified through the 6 FIFA confederations, with Europeans strongly represented. Despite a 3-2 defeat to the US in their opening match, Sweden progressed from Group B. They thrashed Japan 8-0, then beat Brazil to set up a quarter-final with China. The hosts had continued their early good form and comfortably topped Group A. Few gave Sweden any chance of making the semi-finals. But early in the match, the Swedes got in front through Pia Sundhage.
We had a big heart and we got a free kick. Helena Johansson, she played the ball to the box and I hit it. 1-0. We were struggling. We had the best play in the goalkeeper, Elisabeth Leiding. She saved us big time.
China could find no way through, the Swedes repelling wave after wave of attacks.
Up goes Leidinger, again!
The hosts were out, in the biggest shock of the tournament. Television coverage in those days relied totally on the host country. International distribution was in its infancy. That was to come later. But at this stage, while audiences in China were high, the global reach of Chinese TV's pictures was minimal. Norway, despite defeat in their opening match, had won 3 consecutive games to reach the last 4, where they took on arch-rivals Sweden. 6th minute, Lena Videkul put Sweden in front. But Norway struck back with Tina Svensson's penalty. And then in the second half, 2 goals from Linda Medellin and 1 from Agneta Karlsson sealed a 4-1 win for Norway.
Oh, and they're in again here. Here's Karlsson. Great goalkeeping, but Medellin pops it in.
The Grasshopperne now in the final. The other semi-final pitted the United States against West Germany. It proved to be one of the games of the championships and a personal triumph for Karen Jennings, later voted player of the tournament. She opened the scoring for the USA early in the first half. On 22 minutes, she added a second. And then one of the goals of the tournament to complete a first half hat-trick. The USA 5-2 winners. So to the final in Guangzhou and the battle for the first FIFA Women's World Cup. Tianhe Stadium, a crowd of 63,000 and some prestigious guests to witness history in the making. A tight encounter, but in the 20th minute, the Americans went ahead.
Up goes Akers. Oh, a tremendous header. USA in the lead. Michelle Akers, 9th goal of the tournament, with a header that rocketed past goalkeeper Seth.
But just 9 minutes later, the Norwegians hit back.
Oh, that's a real mix-up. It's Linda Medlin with the touch. It's 1-1.
And with the match seemingly destined for extra time, it was Michelle Akers again to write her name into the history books.
2 minutes left and this ball gets knocked forward and I got to it before the defender. And it's the goal you think about as a kid, you know, when you're saying, okay, last 2 seconds of the game, open goal, defenders are rushing down, the whole world's watching, can you score it? It was like that, and I did it.
The USA world champions, and St Lawrence's team deserved winners. But just as important, the first FIFA Women's World Cup had been proved a success. It had been an impressive start.
Then it was back home and back to reality.
It was a little disappointing in the fact that when we came back to the United States, no one knew that we won.
We came home, we thought we had just conquered the world, and there was like one media person there.
On the other hand, Italy's star player Carolina Maranchi had hit the headlines back home with her 4 goals. At that time, Diego Maradona was king in Italy with Napoli. One TV station said all boys should be called Diego and all girls Carolina.
I found this comparison between Maradona and me very funny. It made me feel good. It seemed at that moment that women's football in Italy would begin a very good development path. But ultimately, that hasn't been the case.
And there were some other small distractions. Most players delayed having children until after their playing days, but not all of them. Any USA training camp often had welcome visitors. Just another example that women aiming for the top had to be committed, and they, as well as the people around them, had to make sacrifices.